This is the new Audi RSQ8 and it's the most expensive RS model Audi does. And in this video by talking about the RSQ8 party piece, and it is of course its engine, which is hidden underneath this big plastic cover. It does have red on it though, it's in an out-house. So it's a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 with 600 horsepower and 800 Newton-meters of torque. It's got mild hybrid technology as well. It can actually coast without the engine on for 40 seconds. It can drive an electric power load up to 13 miles an hour. Plus, it's got cylinder deactivation. You don't care about that. That's just economy stuff. If you want a car like this, what you care about is the performance. Audi says this car will do 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, but I want to check it for sure, so I've got my specialist timing gear here. I'm going to put it into launch control mode, so dynamic for the engine, put the gearbox into sport, the stability control into sport as well, then just left foot on the brake, or the throttle, launch it. Oh, that's it! That felt real good, but what does my specialist timing gear say? Oh my God. 0 to 60, 3.6 seconds. This SUV is rather heavy. Thankfully though, it has some very strong brakes. At the back, you have 370mm discs. At the front, they're 420 and they're gripped by 10 piston calipers. This one's actually on the optional carbon ceramics, so even more strong power. Now I want to see just how strong these brakes are. So I'm going to do a full emergency stop from 70 miles an hour, see how long it takes me to come to a standstill. Here we go, braking now. Good. Use my special timing gear again to measure the distance, and it says I stopped in 46.4 metres. Interestingly, the highway code says that braking from 70 miles an hour will take 96 metres. So this did it in half the distance. Underneath the skin, the Audi RSQ8 is basically a Lamborghini Urus, but in a less showy outfit. They've actually widened the track, the front and the back to make it handle sharper than standard Q8. The RSQ8 gets adaptive air suspension as standard, and it's actually set up slightly stiffer than on the normal car, and you can raise and lower it depending on whether you want to be going off-road or in normal driving. The Quattro all-wheel drive system sends 40% of the power to the front wheels and 60% to the back wheels, but it can send a maximum of 75% to the front or 85% to the rear. Yeah, it's slightly rear drive biased, this Audi. It's unusual. The car also gets rear wheel steering as standard, so when you're going at high speed, the rear wheels move in the same direction as the front to improve your stability. Then at lower speeds, the rears can move in the opposite direction of the front, like on a forklift truck, to make the car more manoeuvrable. So when you're trying to park it, you don't look like a complete utter dickhead. You can get something called active roll stabilisation on the options list, and it basically stiffens up the anti-roll bars when you're going into a corner to make it corner flatter. Does that make you feel seasick? The car also gets a Quattro Sport rear differential, and what that'll do is send power to the rear wheel with the most grip to help power you out of a turn, and it can help you do some skids too. In fact, let's test it. Okay, so I've turned the stability control all the way off. I'm going to see if it'll do some skids. Power, come on, let's get it going. Sort of. Yeah. I'm getting covered in dust, but it will sort of go sideways. Not the best, but okay for a big SUV. Now let's see what this big beast is like on a twisty road. So I'll put the stability control into its sport setting, so there is some degree of safety. Got the gearbox in manual. See how it goes. Look at that engine, it's so strong. Wow, it really turns into the corners brilliantly, and it stays super flat. Those active anti-roll bars are really doing their job. The rear wheel steering is really helping as well. It just makes it feel more agile. Behind me, I've got air there. The steering's nice. Whoa, whoa, it's sliding. So predictable and so easy and so safe, and the way that the stability control just managed that. I enjoyed that. I had fun going crazy fast on a twisty road in a big thing like this, never felt unsafe, and it felt playful. I don't think it's quite as sharp though as the BMW X6M competition. That just feels even more sporty. In fact, if you want to see my in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there. But still, that was awesome. Now let's talk about the price. So the new Audi RSQ8 starts from £104,000, which means it's the most expensive vehicle to ever wear the RS badge. Now, if you want to see how much money you can save on this, or any new car for that matter, click on the pop-out banner up there to go to CarWow, where you can compare different reviews of cars, prices, offers, delivery times, and all that sort of stuff. And on average, you can save £3,600 on new cars. There are some key styling upgrades over the normal Q8. The RS model obviously gets RS badging. You get a black grille, black Audi badges, and lower front splitter as well to make it look more aggressive and sporty. Down the side, you get 22-inch alloy wheels as standard, though this car's on 23s. There's some side skirts to improve the aerodynamics. You also get aluminium coloured door mirrors, though this one has the black upgrade. At the back, there's an extended roof spoiler, once again, for improved aerodynamics. The RSQ8 badging there as well. A redesigned rear bumper with this weird kind of texture. If you've got trypophobia, you ain't gonna like that. I don't know what I'm on about. Look it up on Google. Then this part is supposed to mimic a diffuser. It's not a real diffuser, it's just the show. Classic RS oval exhaust pipes, you can fit your foot in there, but actually the real exhaust are just two pipes inside each of one of those. I quite like the rear end of this. I think it's a really good looking backside. Don't know why I'm laughing. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that this car is called an arse. Sorry. Here on the inside, upgrades include an RS steering wheel with a flat bottom, obligatory in an RS car. Also RS sport seats, which are covered in soft Valcona leather. They also have RS embossed into them. You get RS on the sills, some sporty aluminium pedals. You also get some RS specific dials and various trip information relating to sportiness. You can measure things like lap times, acceleration measurements, and you also have different sports displays. Then on the car's main screen, you have what's known as the pulse monitor, which is really handy. It means you don't have to go get a regular colonoscopy. With that, you can measure your tilt angle. There's also functionality to measure stuff such as your G meter. See how much of a G you are. Then you can get some design packs with this car. One actually includes red stitching here and here and here, and obviously on the seats as well. It also includes a nice Alcantara topping for the gear selector and bold RS floor mats. I really like them. Here in the back of the RSQ8, you get the same slidey, reclining rear seats as the standard car, and of course loads of room. However, the rear seats themselves are slightly sportier, like in the front. And look at this Alcantara there, which when you're feeling a little bit stressed out, you can stroke it to help calm you down. It's better. The RSQ8 has exactly the same 605 litre boot capacity as the normal Q8, so easily big enough for most people. But if you do need a few more litres, then you might want a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, because it has 645 litres. In fact, if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can see my full in-depth video review of that car. Being the RS model, you do get some extra kit over the standard Q8. That includes some RS-specific HD matrix LED headlights, which can blank out part of their beam, and they also have this kind of cool animation which works when you turn the car on. Same with the indicators as well. If you have a bit of a carbon fibre fetish, there's the carbon black edition, so it has various bits of exterior trim such as the door mirrors and carbon fibre. However, if you want your RSQ8 fully loaded, you're going to want the Vorsprung model. So it gets adaptive cruise control, a panoramic glass sunroof, a Bang & Olufsen stereo, 360-degree view camera, massage seats, and power door close. So look, you just have to push the door to like that, and then it'll electrically shut itself, which is kind of pointless, but also very cool until it breaks. Then it's massively frustrating. But if you're looking to buy one of these cars, which version should you get? The standard one, the carbon black, or the Vorsprung? Well, actually, I've gone and configured my ideal RSQ8 on the CarWow website, and if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can see which version I think is the best value and the saving you can get on it from our trusted dealers. Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car. If you want the RSQ8 to sound as good as it can, then you have to pay extra for the sports exhaust. And the annoying thing about it is you still have a soft limiter, so if you're stationary and you want to rev it to explain to viewers what it sounds like, it won't really rev past 4,000 RPM. Do you like my pose? This car's top speed is restricted to 155 miles an hour, but it's actually capable of 190 miles an hour. Now you can pay extra to have the limiter removed. The only problem is it comes as part of an option pack, which also includes the ceramic brakes and the Quattro rear sport differential. And that means that it costs £10,000. While you can get snazzy red edging to the rear seat belts, for some reason, the centre one doesn't have it. This car costs £100,000, yet the paddle shifters are made out of plastic and feel about as cheap as the packaging that my curry came in last night. Classic Audi, couldn't resist. Had to put some fake vents somewhere on the car, so they're here at the back. Now I know why they've done it, it's from a design point of view. It helps make the car look wider at the rear, but maybe if you know about car design, you could comment in the box below another way they could have achieved this without having to do that. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. You can get RS specific dials in the heads-up display. The mild hybrid stop-start system uses the camera to tell when the car ahead of you is pulling away at a junction to restart the engine, so you're always good to go. There's a special RS mode button here on the steering wheel, and you can use it to switch between 2 different pre-configurable RS modes, so you can set the car up exactly as you want it, hit that quickly when you're driving along and have the settings just as you want them. The Audi RSQ8 is the quickest production SUV ever round the Nürburgring. It did a time of 7 minutes 42 seconds, which is pretty blooming good. The graphic of the car on the infotainment screen has a little RS logo on it there. Look, you can just about see it. That's attention to detail, isn't it? Finally, let's see what the Audi RSQ8 is like to drive when you're not needing all that RS-ness, all the systems into comfort, and it is exactly that, super comfy. The lane keeping assist, if you've got it fit to the car, is really, really good as well. You can just put the cruise control on and let the car do all the work. It'll steer to keep you in lane as you drive at the motorway. It's also quite quiet. It has got big wheels, so you get a bit more road noise than you do on the standard Q8, but it's not bad. No wind noise at all. Very, very quiet. The air suspension, when you got in comfort setting, super good. I mean, it really does iron out the bumps. It feels more comfortable than a BMW X6M when you're just cruising around. Maybe as an everyday car, this is better. And when you put your foot down, it will respond. Yeah, it will definitely respond with loads and loads of punch. One slight complaint maybe is the gearbox. It's generally pretty smooth, but it's not the fastest to change it when you press the pedal, so I'll just show you now. Press, change, press, change, press, change. There's a minor delay, which just takes the edge off the sportiness, but really, that is a small complaint. I am mightily impressed with how this drives. So then, what's my final verdict on the Audi RSQ8? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It's a really good looking, comfy SUV that has bonkers performance. Let's start this